Okay, baby, welcome to the party. He want to party with Zadi. Okay.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What's going on, Entertain? So today I'm coming to you guys with another recap. We're doing Young, Famous, and Africa. You already know to do it. That like button, hit that subscribe button, let me know what y'all think about this video, okay? So these are my favorite stunt queens on Netflix. When I tell y'all I love the show, not only I love that they display the culture, the opulence, the richness, the level of, you know, like class. Like it's just like, it's everything that you would want in a past life. Like seriously, okay? So it starts off with like all of the cast. We have Kenny basically calling and talking to everybody on the phone. Diamond is saying, oh, we're going to have a big party and we're going to invite everybody over. Okay, so Kanye is just like, so you mean the whole crew is going to come and be in the same room? And then he's like, yes. And she's like, good, right? So everybody's just calling each other. And then the first thing we get is Kanye and Naked. They're driving, of course, a foreign car down the streets of Africa. Mind you, Kanye is from Dubai. I'm wondering why she didn't join, because you know she doesn't even live in Africa. She lives in Dubai. So I'm kind of wondering why she didn't do Housewives of Dubai. I think that show did production. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the dates, but I'm pretty sure they probably did the production of Housewives of Dubai before after they filmed the first season of Young, Famous, and African. Because I guarantee she probably knows somebody on the cast, and she probably would have been on there. So that's why I was kind of shook when the second season started. I'm like, why are you not on Dubai? Because she was just like, I live in Dubai, but in Africa, that's where I bathe. Okay, so she said she basically showers in Dubai, showers in Africa. She lives in Dubai. So her and Naked are basically catching up, and they're catching up on the relationship between DJ Naked and Kaylee. Okay, that's his girl. Okay, not a wife yet. Okay, and he was just like, I've been dicking her down very good. I've been dicking her down. I'm like, yeah, you giving her that good African pipe. Okay, so they're still together. And Kanye's saying the husband is still in Dubai. When are we going to meet Kanye's husband? Huh? I think we saw him on season 1, if I'm not mistaken, but not for long if we did, or we didn't at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when are we going to see the husband throughout the whole season? It's like I think we last season we got a glimpse of him, or we didn't see him like at all. So what are we hiding over there in Dubai? Okay, so they're basically catching up. They're talking about the party and who they're going to be like inviting and everything. So next thing we see is Zadi. Okay, Zadi. Okay, on the right, and Swanky meet. Okay, a lot of people are still wondering if Swanky's one of the girls. I think because of the African culture, he can't talk about it publicly because like it would be frowned upon. That's just my best guess as to why he doesn't talk about that. I have looked it up and seen that, he had a girl before, so I'm like, ew, interesting. Something of that sort. But I did see reports of him being one of the girls. To be honest, I don't think it's anybody's business. But of course, we all just want to know more about it. With him being African and so affluent, how, like, if he is, how has that affected his career in fashion? Because he really is that it guy, okay? He is that it guy. So Zadi's just in the shop or whatever, because they're meeting up to stop. She's like, he's such a diva. Okay, he's such a diva. So he gets there, whatever. And he's just like, so I always have to come fashionably late. Okay, because when I arrive, my presence is known. Okay, I put my foot on the stool and everybody knows that Frankie Jerry has arrived. Okay, which Frankie Jerry, this man makes an entrance like no other. Like, I'm talking about the fabric creates the win. I swear to God. I was like, this man, oh my God. That's the queen of them all. I swear to you. Okay? If I were to be a rich African, that's how I would dress. I'm telling you. Why not go all out? Why not? Okay, so they start catching up, and Zadi, okay, talks about how she, had an awkward dinner and meetup between Diamond and Andele. Okay, so y'all remember the last scene I left on season 1 was Andele walking into Diamond and Zadi's home, and Diamond was just like, "Who are you here to see?" And then Andele said, "I'm here to see Zadi." Okay, so we left off that awkward moment. I really wish we picked up where we left off that last season to where we could see that interaction, because they did show pictures of it. So it's not like the cameras just shut down right as that moment stopped. They showed, like, they kept filming for them to get those pictures. So what's up, Netflix? Run us them mother in clips though. Like, put it up on the YouTube or something, because I wanted to see the reaction. So Zari's just like, I haven't seen Andele since that night, but I think Diamond feels some type of way because Andele, he's a player, which I'm just like, I don't get that vibe from Andele. This is Andele, you guys. Does he give player vibes? No. Okay, I don't get player vibes from him at all. So the fact they kept kind of throwing that in there, um, this episode, maybe he does, and I just haven't seen it yet. But just from what I've seen, no, like I just don't get that vibe from him. And then we get into, Zadi's just like, so, I went to a party that Swanky invited me, and I didn't see Annie. So I wanted to ask him, what is wrong with him and Annie? So Zadi goes, the last party we went to, when is the last time you spoken to Annie? And I'm like, oh, she getting in there. So apparently Annie and Swanky, Annie, which is her, and a Swanky are not friends and besties anymore. I remember last season it was a Cookie Crunch girlfriends. So now they're not cool anymore. So Swanky's just like, I don't see it for Annie. Like, who's Annie? Okay, you're talking about the redhead Annie doll. I don't know Annie. So apparently they live in the same Nigerian neighborhood. So it's kind of off that they went from best friends to not speaking at all, right? Swanky's a little bit like me. Once you cross me, the cutoff, especially if it's a bad cross, I told y'all there's levels of cutoff. You feel me? His level of cutoff, I could tell he has one level. He's not like me where it's like I rate it. His is like one level. It's like boom, ghost. Which is like I feel you, because it's like he's probably a Virgo. When you so nice and you so like giving to somebody and like you do the most, when they cross you and they do something way out of line, it's kind of like, how dare you try me? So that's how Swanky's thinking, whatever Annie did to him. So I'm so interested to find out what Annie did to Swanky. Okay, so they finish up and whatever, and then we see Kanye and Annie meet. Okay, so Annie and Kanye, they meet. They hug so hard. I kind of forgot how like cool they got towards the end of the season of last season, because I remember they didn't start off on the best foot. Like they didn't really mess with each other like that. So the fact that Kanye and Annie were so besties, I was like, oh, that was kind of nice to see them so excited to see each other, because they probably don't hang out outside of filming. I'm not talking about them two, but I'm talking about the cast in general. Some of them probably do. So they start catching up or whatever, and they talk about the two baby situation. Shout out to Kempire, okay? Kempire got brought up. I said, look at we get a YouTuber features. Tries. That's our F with Netflix. They give props where it's due. Okay, so we saw Kempire off of YouTube on the first episode, and Kanye brings up Swanky, like, where is Swanky? And have you spoken to Swanky? You guys live in the same neighborhood, so something is wrong. What is wrong? So Annie's just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I did to Swanky. I believe that Swanky separated himself from me because he did not want to have the bad press with him. I feel like that's why, Swanky cut me off, but it's wrong. It's just wrong, right? So she doesn't know why, Swanky kind of coming off. She thinks that it's because, she's been in the press because Two Baby, which is her baby father, okay, and husband, had allegedly fathered another lady, okay, and had a baby with another lady. So that's why she thinks that, Swanky kind of cut her off. I don't think so, because last season there was still rumors that, he'd be dipping and doing it with other girls. So he would have been did that if that's the case. I really feel like Annie talked behind his back and he found out. That's what it's giving. Okay. I talked about his fashions. Don't spoil it for me in the comments, entertainers, because I know y'all gonna try to spoil it for me, okay? So Annie also talks about Two Baby. She was just like, he's an amazing father and husband. And the press gets stuff so wrong. He already had 5 kids before we met, and I'm like, oh Lord. I just feel like Annie could do so much better than Two Baby. Okay, I feel like Two Baby is a whore. It just gives off whore vibes. Okay, just the way that he was touching Zadi in that first season, like he was interacting with Zadi the way that he wanted to bang her big W cakes down. So I just feel like Annie could do a lot better, because Annie is really, really pretty. Okay, she really is. So Nadia and Andale meet. Okay, and apparently Nadia, which is her right here, Nadia has a new man. Okay, she is no longer dating Vic. And you know what she says? She was just like, I have a new man, and he's such a manly man. And I'm like, wait a minute. What are you saying? So you're saying Vic Mensa was a girly girl? Huh? Huh? That's what you're saying. Huh? So I thought that was interesting. She kind of threw that in there, because I'm like, you couldn't have not said it, but okay. It's like, he's such a manly man, and I'm having the best time of my life. Like, I'm having the best sex. He's really, putting it in me, right? She didn't say all that, but it looked like she wanted to, though, because the way she talked about him, ooh, right? So Adele was just like, do you have to explain yourself every time that you talk? And I'm like, wait a minute, that was low-key disrespectful. Adele to me could come across a little slick. He'd be slick at the mouth sometimes, because he's a broadcast, I think, journalist in Africa. I think he does like radio, not broadcast. He does radio. So like he's very quick with it. So he'd be slick sometimes, very at the mouth. And I'm like, why did you say that to her? And then she's just like, yeah, I do. So then Andale says, we're having the party and with Diamond, and I wanted, to invite one of the people that might be there. He didn't say one of the people that might be there, but he brings up Bonan, okay, which we're gonna get on later, because the girl is sickening. This is Bonan, okay? So Bonan apparently is Nadia's man's ex and her ex-best friend. Isn't that crazy? So that was her ex-best friend. They're no longer friends anymore. And she used to date the man that Nadia is currently with right now. Okay, so Andele was just like, how do you feel about, Bonan? Like, are you guys still cool? Are you guys friends? And Nadia's just like, no, like, we're no longer friends, but that has nothing to do with my man. So no. She kind of cuts it off there. She kind of says that, the friendship sort of broke off before, the man was even involved, and says that they, broke their friendship over reputable, differences or whatever, right? Which I think it has a little bit to do with the man, just in my opinion. Okay. So Diamond goes and talks to Naked. Okay? DJ Naked. And Diamond is mad on the left. He's very, very mad that, Andale has taken it on himself. Him, Andale. I told y'all he's slick. He has taken it on himself to really want to date the mother of my children. He was like, you want to date the mother of my children? How dare you? After all these beautiful women in this country, you decide to date my baby's mother, the mother of my children. And I was like, he gonna whoop your ass, Andale. You keep playing. I'm telling you, Diamond, he look like he got a hood nigga living deep inside of him, bro. I'm telling you, okay? That is the African future. All right. He just gives off that vibe. The way he plays these girls, and he gives off that vibe. But he gives like, whoo, Diamond, hey, Diamond, hey, Diamond. Okay. Yeah, like it gives. Okay. So Diamond is really, really mad. He's talking to Naked right here, saying that like he doesn't really appreciate what he did, and he wants to talk to him at the party. Okay. And they're gonna have the conversation at the party. Okay. So it's Diamond's party, and he's talking to Zadi, and they're talking whatever. And Zadi's just like, is your girlfriend Nadia coming over? Because I know that you were flirting with Nadia. He kind of threw that shade in there, and then basically Diamond was just like, "Oh, your boyfriend Andale, is he going to be here?" And then she was just like, "I don't know," right? So they kind of throw little shots at each other, and then next thing we know, Kanye and we see Kanye and Nadia pull up. Okay, so Nadia pulls up and Kanye pulls up. Okay, so they pull up, they get outside of a foreign cargo. When I tell y'all they live such a luxurious life, it's like, what do you guys do? Okay, like I know some of them do music and Diamond does music and everything, but the rest of you guys, are you guys just rich off of you guys' like husbands and investments? Like, I just want to know. Put me on, okay? So you hop out of the car. Kanye greets Zadi, and Zadi's just like, I've never seen it for Kanye. She gives me like a very quick hug, and it doesn't seem like something very genuine. And Annie also shows up, and Annie and Zadi don't even pay each other any freaking mind, okay? And I don't blame her, okay? Because is Zadi, remember last season you said, fuck you and your silly marriage. I would never get over that if I was Annie, okay? So Annie had every right to sort of, go through the way that she was, because you was very disrespectful when you guys met up with each other, okay? Annie said, do not trespass. And you trespassed, right? You came up to her husband and you put her husband to the side inappropriately. Even though I do think that Annie needs to leave her husband, I feel like Zadi thinks because she's of lighter complexion, she feels as if she's better than. I get that vibe from her. Even though I think she's sickening, I do get that vibe from her a lot. Okay? So they kind of pay each other no mind. Everybody starts, gathering around the table, whatever. So they get to the table and there was a seat. But there was not a seat, the next available seat when everybody sat down, because Annie was the last one to sit down, was next to Zadi. Okay? And Annie takes the chair next to Zadi, right? And she moves it. Annie moves it from Zadi's side and moves it on the other side of the table. And Zadi's at a confession. She's like, what a silly girl. I don't really mind her. She's just a silly girl. She's just a silly girl, right? They still do not see it for each other at all. So I thought that was really, really funny. That was Annie. Would I tell you guys Annie hates this girl's guts? I feel like she sees Zarya as a girl that, Tu Baby ended up sleeping with in his past life. Okay? So after that happens, we see Swanky gets there. Of course, he's fashionably late. Okay? He comes in when reaching against the clothes, just whoosh, 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 whoosh. Okay? The wind just pushing against his clothes, right? He gets there, he greets everybody. He's just like, oh, hello. Oh my god. Nadia, look at your dress. Oh my god. He gets to Annie, he go, and he let me tell y'all, when I was watching it, I was like, when I'm petty, is this how I look? Because I feel bad. I felt so bad for Annie. I felt so bad for Annie. But I'm like, is that how I look when I'm petty? Because what Swanky did is something I did. If I don't see it for you, I'm not faking fuck. I just can't. Even when I try to, it pains me. It hurts me. Oh, it takes something deep in me. So he doesn't greet her, but he does something later on in the episode that I didn't like. I thought that was a little bit too much. Like, stop now. Like, don't do that. He ends up, not greeting her. He sits down, and Nadia's just like, so you're not going to say hi to Annie? Like, wait. I thought you guys were best friends. Like, Annie. Nadia is the messy one. She was trying to, ask some questions. So then Kanye notices, and she's just like, Nadia, come here. No, let's go off to the side. We're going to have another drink. Come here. Okay? So she takes Nadia to the side, and Kanye's just like, You need to stop meddling in everybody's business. That is why I took you to the side. You are very messy. Very, very messy. So Nadia was just like, that's why you took me because I wanted to ask about Swanky and Annie. Like, come on. Like, really? And I'm like, you're messy. You're messy. That would have been me though. I would have want to know. Because y'all gotta understand that first season, Frankie, I said Frankie. Swanky was writing for Annie like it was nobody's business. That was like her girl. That was his girl. Like he was not having it. Anybody who talked bad about her, anybody who said anything about Tu Baby, it was like you're like a demon seed. Even snapped on Kanye last season because of it. So of course everybody wants to know what's really tea. Okay? And I also think that Kanye is jealous of Zari. Because Zari is that it girl. I just feel like she's jealous of her a little bit. Okay? So Annie feels very uncomfortable at the party because she ends up walking away. So Andele and Naked end up coming. Y'all remember Andele was the one who slept with, Diamond's baby mother, Zadi. So Andele comes and, greets everybody. Naked greets everybody. And Andele greets Diamond. And he also hugs Zadi. When I tell y'all this is the funniest part of the episode, they hug for the longest. Adelaide and Zadi hug for the longest, right? And then they're just hugging, they're hugging, they're hugging. And it's like a long, awkward hug. And Diamond's just looking at him like, and they finally let go. And this is Adelaide looking at Zadi. He's like, for like at least 5 minutes, they had that scene. I said, I know you lied. So Diamond's just like, he's just looking at him. So it was a point in time that Adelaide like gets up and he gets up and Diamond's just like, oh, my brother, my family, my dude, my companion. Family, andale, family. Okay, basically saying, nigga, try that shit with me again. I'm gonna smack you upside your head in this African party. Okay, baby, welcome to the party. He want to party with Zadi. Okay, that's what it is. Baby, welcome to the party. He want to party with Zadi. He really did. I'm telling you, he wanted to lick her up and down right then and there. Right, so they end up, he ends up leaving or whatever. Not leaving the party, but he ends up taking his jacket because he was just like, I love your jacket, Andele. You are my mentor. I look up to you. God-like figure. So I'm like, he coming for your neck. He coming for your neck. He about to come for you. Right? So after that happens, we see Swanky gets up and introduces Bonan. Okay? He introduces Bonan and says, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new person I want to introduce to, the cast and my group of friends. We have Bonan. Bonan comes in. This is one of the most sickening girls I've seen on reality television in a minute. We have Bonan. The picture doesn't even do her justice. From the episode, the girl eats down. Okay, apparently she does like radio. She's like that it girl in Africa. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. She's everything. Okay. And what I like about her, she was honest. She says, she's very, self-centered. She says she's very, selfish. She's very conceited. She loves herself. I was like, you better be honest and tell us who you are. I like people like that. At least you know what you're getting. So that way down the line, you're not shocked and surprised. Okay. While this happens though, and before Bonan even enters the scene, Nadia and Kanye walk away immediately. If y'all don't remember, Bonan is Nadia's ex-best friend. So they walk away immediately. Her and Kanye. They leave the scene. So everybody in Diamond and all of them are looking like, what is going on? Andale's like, why did they all just leave the room like that? Like, it's just Bonan. Okay, because Bonan is that girl. So Bonan walks in or whatever. She's like, hi, everybody. Hi. Everybody else is sort of being like very nice to her. Right? Annie, I think, walked away for a little bit. She came back to sit in her original seat. Guess who's sitting in there? Swanky. So he's just like, she walks up to Swanky. She's just like, Swanky, that's my seat. Can you move? Can you move in my seat? Swanky's like, and I'm like, this man is so petty for no reason. He was not moving. That nigga was not budging. So that's the part I didn't like. That was a little bit too much. Like, come on now. Like, the lady didn't, like, you feel me? I really want to know what she did. Like I said, I only watched the first episode and a little bit of the second episode. Recaps to come soon, so don't spoil it in the comments. But it had to been something real deep, because that's super petty, especially to a woman. Like, that is a little bit over the top. I will say that. Now that I probably wouldn't have did. I probably would have moved over a little bit, just to be petty. But she didn't even budge. You would have thought she was talking to a wall. So Annie was just like, I feel very uncomfortable. She's talking to the girl. She's like, I feel very uncomfortable. And, I'm a grown woman. I'm not a child. I'm going to leave. I don't feel right. I don't know. Do baby call me? Okay, so she decides to go. She decides to go and leave or whatever. And, the party is just awkward. It's awkward, and awkward, right? So Zari notices that, Nadia and Kanye left that scene, but they came back into the scene. And of course, Nadia feels some type of way because Bonan is there, okay? Because they're ex-besties, right? Next person that we meet is introduced by Andele at the same party. Everybody was getting introduced at this party, child. We meet by Andele. We meet Fantana. Fantana, you guys, is a musician. To me, she's like the Ari of Africa. That's what it's given. And Bonan is like Jada Waiter. Just so you guys can get like a view of who they are in the African, land. Okay. So Fantana, she has the Big Debbie cakes. And they were caking. And guess who noticed? Diamond. Diamond was just like, her dress fits her figure, but I don't know if her figure fits her dress. But the cakes in my face, I eat it. Amazing. Oh my god. He was just licking all up through her. And she did look good though. The body is bodying, okay? Clearly you can tell she has had work done, but the body is bodying, okay? They show all her pictures, Big Debbie cakes. She boop, 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 boop. She walked into the party. She goop, 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 goop. Okay, Diamond's just looking about, right? So then, of course, Azadi's just looking at Diamond, and she's just like, oh, isn't this interesting? What a silly guy. Very interesting. So she's just looking about as Diamond's, mesmerizing over Fantana, right? And Diamond, you guys, loves what he is seeing. And Diamond tells Andale again, he's like, oh, my brother, my mentor. Okay? So then we get to Swanky. Swanky's basically like, oh, they're asking him like, why did Annie leave? Like, Annie just left. Like, what's wrong? Zadi's messy too, so she's just like, why don't you just tell us, Swanky? Like, what did Annie really do to you? What did he do? What did she do to you? So then, Swanky's just like, I don't want to talk about Annie without her being in the presence of me. So I'm going to leave, but just know I'm going to pay her my respect. And I'm like, what is she dying? Is this her obituary? Obituary? Like, what did she do? So he ends up leaving it on there and ends up leaving. We see the fly of the night with the fabric flying. I said, Netflix is so dramatic. They best to have had the best editors on this show, or have people with the camera crew with big Beyonce fans as they walk in, because ain't no way y'all could get that type of theatrical cinematography done. It's A1. I'm just saying, okay? Let me know what y'all thought about this first episode. Like I said, Annie needs to leave through, baby. I want to know what Annie did to Swanky. Okay, that was nice of her, nice of him to basically call when the news broke that, through baby allegedly, did some things to another woman while being with Annie. Okay, leave your comments down below what y'all thought about this episode, and we are out, babies. No personal thing.